Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dig through the fine print so you don't have to. Today we are deciphering a filing from Scuti Accession Corp, a blank check company. Don't worry if that sounds boring, because this report might just be as empty as their business plan. Hopefully not, let's find out. This report is basically Scuti's playbook waiting for a team or a match, and we are checking to see the strength of the playbook. We will see how they have been doing over the last year, and if it's time to short this boat. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below, with tons of other investors sharing insight. First, let's start with what this company is. Scuti Accession Corp is a blank check company, meaning they are a bag of cash that's supposed to merge and acquire another company. The goal? Find a business to buy and then take it public without going through the hassle of a traditional IPO. They organize in the Cayman Islands, which is often a choice to avoid certain regulations. But they could acquire a company anywhere, and pay cash that's supposed to merge and acquire another company anywhere. What kinds of businesses are they looking for? They want a middle market growth business with an enterprise value or total value plus debts between $200 million and $400 million. In addition, they want a strong management team that can prove that they can grow revenue and profits. We'll find out if they can deliver on these goals. To stay listed on the Nasdaq, they have to follow a major rule. The business they acquire has to be worth at least 80% of the money they have in their trust account, which is $57,500 on hand. So the company that they find has to be over $46,000 in fair market value. What happens if they cannot get to their financial or timing goals? Well, after 12 months, the clock strikes midnight. The public shareholders get any money that is left. Something else too, they could be secretly buying up the company's own stocks to vote in their favor. While many of these things are not planned they could happen, it might help to ensure that their business proposals go through or to meet minimum cash requirements for a deal. Keep in mind that all of these things can lead to the public shareholders not getting much compared to what the key players are getting. Also, there is a limit about how much everyone can redeem back during a business combination approval. Basically, to participate, you need to seek rights for less than 15%. So that means if you hold a substantial stake, you need to sell excess stake if you want to get some money out of it. Now, it gets a little bit tricky because the fine print mentions that a majority of the executive officers live in China and PRC courts might not recognize the judgments of US courts based on US securities laws. This is something to keep in mind. It gets deeper too, since they are operating in China. They are also subject to those rules and regulations. For example, government crackdown can happen at any movement over these companies' activities. These measures involve overseas offerings that might require the Chinese government to change any offerings made by companies in the region, and this comes with increased compliance requirements. So it's something to think about. The combined company whose securities will be listed on a US stock exchange may make capital contributions or extend loans to its PRC subsidiaries through intermediate holding companies subject to compliance with relevant PRC foreign exchange control regulations. In short, it's difficult. What could also go wrong? Well, they have intense competition from other SPACs, private equity groups, and other operating businesses seeking strategic acquisitions. So it's an ocean for little fish, and guess what? If bad things happen, there is no one on the team that can help you. There are major conflict of interest on who is going to make money if this happens. We need to see if the numbers hold up as well. Keep in mind that the letter of agreement between the company and their sponsor can be changed without shareholder approval. Alright, time to look at the financials. As of March 31, 2025, they barely had anything. Only $17,221 in cash, barely any liabilities, and $27,000 in funding costs. Basically, it's a shell. The statement of operations says they have not made any revenue. All of their operational expenses went towards operating company costs, a net loss of $156,520. All that money went towards running an empty shell, no good. Now, here is something key as well. There is a going concern warning that they might not make it next year if they don't take enough action. To be specific, those numbers were $17,221 in cash, a working capital deficit of $131 in cash, a working capital deficit of $13. These are bad signs. But also, if they get sued, it goes straight to the shareholders of this little thing. Someone remind me why we decided to cover this filing again. Oh yes, to save you time. No one should buy without making informed decisions, and this is our point of view. Scroll 1.1x underwriting agreement between registrant Scroll. One last thing that caught my eye. Maxim Group, who did the underwriting, has to get paid. If they cancel that deal, there is still a clause where they need to repay the banks anyway. Well played, Maxim, well played. Now, looking at these results more broadly, Scuti does not appear to have enough time or money to get a target, and they probably will not make it in time, especially given the key going concern consideration and management conflicts mentioned through this fine print. While SPACs are very speculative, one should at least try to provide an investment target. Alright, that's our breakdown of Scuti's filings. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget that Discord down in the description too, by the way. Thanks for watching. See you next time.